Hello, my name's Andrew. You may know that already. I've mentioned it a few times, but anyways, we're gonna hang out and do a little vlog, catch up on some of the things that have been going on with me, with creativity, health, etc. I've got a little list here with some bullet points and illustrations on the super note. This thing's really fun to draw on. But anyways, the main thing that's been going on for the past 4 months is that I've been eating a raw primal diet, which means raw meat and raw egg yolks and raw dairy, and it's going fantastically. I feel like in the beginning I was doing a lot of tweaking and some things were working, some things weren't, and it would feel like I would get these like crazy levels of energy and then like something would go wrong, and now I've got it dialed in. Like the only thing that was really holding me back was iodine, and I was just getting too much of it with like egg yolks and salmon, but now I've cut it down to one raw duck egg yolk, which provides actually quite a bit of iodine, and that's it, and I seem to be functioning really well. The other thing that was kind of screwing me up was raw liver, and I was eating raw bison liver, and I was having about a ½ ounce per day, but I was eating it like half in the morning, the quarter in the morning, and then quarter for dinner around 4 p.m. And apparently like liver is really energizing. It has copper, it has a lot of B vitamins in high amounts, and it was just like too much at night, like I was waking up in the middle of the night just like, let's go, baby. Let's make a YouTube video. So I moved all of the liver to my breakfast meal, and then it was like much more chill in the evening. I also moved my magnesium all to the evening and take 350 milligrams from a company called Solaray, and magnesium glycinate, and that kind of helps like chill you down, so you can get to sleep and stay asleep. So that's working really well. I'm basically eating no carbs other than some raw honey and watermelon, and like that's it, and most of it is just like super high fat, and the results have been crazy. Like I keep track of my daily log scores, which it's just like overall like happiness and general like quality of life, and I've been doing this for like 5 years, and for the past few years I've had some like ups and downs, and it seemed like I might have been going in the right direction with a certain diet, but then I kind of like crash, or I just like don't really seem to get above a certain level. But for 2025 I'm already at a 6.5 out of 10, which you can see right here. There's my microphone's up there, so it's a little hard to get close to the camera. But 2025, 6.5, 2024, 5.4, much lower, 2023, 6.4. So that was like the high for the past 5 years at 6.4, and then 2022 was 5.5, 5.6 the year before that, and then 2020 was one of the best years I've ever had. That was 6.8 average for the whole year, and that's because I was doing my book 365 comics, and I was just like going crazy creatively. But I was just so burned out after that year because I had been eating vegan and like a really terrible vegan diet, like just limited to like lentils and quinoa, and I wasn't even soaking it. It's just like, what a nightmare, But anyways, the other thing that's just been going so well is I've been writing every single day for the past week, working on this sci-fi series, book 1. And like I said in the past video, I've been procrastinating for years, and it's gone past the point where like I've never been this consistent with anything other than maybe the 365 comics challenge where I was drawing a comic every day. But that was, it was definitely challenging, but I've always wanted to work on a sci-fi, nonfiction type of book, and it definitely takes a different kind of skill and a different kind of focus that I've just never had in my entire life, because I've been too ADHD, too all over the place, too disorganized, too depressed, too unmotivated, and now it's just like everything's coming together. I have 8,000 words now. I'm almost to 10,000 words. I finished the first chapter, which I talked about in the last blog and vlog. And now I'm on to chapter number 2. I've got a couple thousand words logged into that, and I'm just having like so much fun. This was such a good decision. It wasn't necessarily a decision like I talked about in the last video. It's almost just like the energy just like got to a certain point where I could do what I needed to do creatively, like what I've been wanting to do for literally decades, writing. And like once that happens, it's just like the floodgates break, and that's what's been going on. And I've been like really thankful for it, because there are still a lot of things that are very stressful in my life. Like with the van, my plans of doing propane fell through. I decided that the propane tank was like a mini bomb. I didn't want that on the van. I just like was picturing the van exploding. It was just awful trying to like service it underneath the van, like 2 inches away from my face, and the horrible smell of like sulfur, so I just like lost $2,000 on that. And luckily I just sold the propane heater, and now I just have to sell the tank. So I got about $700 out of the $1,000 I spent back when I sold the heater yesterday. So that's good. Now I have the money that I need to, or most of the money that I need to buy the wood stove that I want to install instead. It's just gonna be so much more natural, and I like the idea of having this, like, I think even though propane has a lot of dangers, people are sort of like used to it in vans, because a lot of like Westphalias and stuff will have propane tanks, and people see RVs with propane tanks, so they assume that it's like more safe and more commonplace. But whenever I see videos of people with wood fire, stoves in their van, it's like you get all these comments like, you're gonna die, you're gonna burn yourself down. And I feel like it's so unique, and unexpected to have a freaking wood stove inside of a van. And, it's vented and it's sealed and all that, so it's safe as long as you have the necessary precautions and all that stuff. But I don't know, I just think it's cool. Going back to the raw primal diet, I have been drinking 4 cups of raw milk for I think two months now, something like that. No problems whatsoever. It's so much healthier than pasteurized milk, as long as you get it from someplace that's certified organic and has a strong safety standards, etc. I'm getting it from this Amish place called Harmony Acres. It's really good. It's just delicious. It's richer, has more probiotics. And the interesting thing actually is that I'm getting it delivered like every 2 weeks, because the delivery fee is $30. So I can't afford that every week, even though that would be ideal to have fresh milk. But anyways, I'm just like leaving it in the fridge, and I've just gotten to the end of my first 2-week period, and it's like the milk gets like a little sour. And so I looked it up and I'm like, is that okay? Because with normal pasteurized milk, if it gets sour, you have to toss it, like it's just spoiled at that point. But apparently with raw milk, because you can, ferment it, which is essentially what kefir is, you can just drink sour milk and it tastes amazing. It has even more probiotics, even less lactose. So if you're lactose intolerant, it's excellent for that. And it's very hydrating, so much so than water, so much more so than water. I've just noticed like I get so dehydrated, or I used to at least, when I was only drinking water, and it was like the more water that I would drink, the more dehydrated I would get. And I didn't understand it. Like, how could that possibly be, And I was getting to the point where I was drinking, I'd drink like 12, 16 cups of water per day, and I just felt like I was living in the desert. And it's because your body needs to retain the water, right? So if you're just drinking water and you're not drinking any extra nutrition, fat with it that's going to help lock that water in, it just flushes straight through your system. And worse than that, it actually flushes out, nutrients that you need. So that was an interesting lesson. But I got some kefir to try from the Amish farm as well, and I haven't opened it yet, but it's in the fridge. So I'm going to try that tonight, and then maybe I'll make a vlog tomorrow about raw kefir and what that's like, because it's supposed to be really good for probiotics and, digesting and energy. But like, my energy is just so good. I could just go all day long, and like a few weeks ago, it was just like too good. I couldn't even sleep. I would just get to the end of the day and it's like, I'm ready to make more YouTube videos. Like, I don't want to go to sleep. But like I said, I got that figured out. And the other thing that's been going on is the endless saga of arguing with my mom about dairy. She is incredibly lactose intolerant, and she's allergic to it. You can see when she sits down in the morning, she has her pasteurized milk and she starts sneezing immediately, and then she gets all this mucus in her throat, just constantly clearing her throat all day long. And it's the kind of thing, like, if you see someone like, sick of a cold, for example, for one day, it's like no big deal. Obviously, you feel bad for them. But when someone is going through that every single day, and they're, waking up in the middle of the night, like coughing as if they're choking to death on their own mucus, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And I have had so many arguments with my mom at this point about dairy. Like at first when I used to think I was allergic to dairy, and then it turned out I was only allergic to pasteurized dairy. So I kept telling her, like, you have to get off dairy, but it was really hard because she had her gallbladder removed, and so she like couldn't. So there's really nothing I could do. I mean, I knew it was not good for her, but it's like, what else? And now that I've discovered raw milk, it's like the perfect solution, because she could digest it without a gallbladder, and it will, improve her gut flora and all this stuff. But she won't listen. And this is sort of like the general feeling of like the past few years, especially of the more like quote unquote extreme topics that I've done, like for example, going completely barefoot. I mean, people already think, or mainstream at least, think that barefoot shoes are dangerous, and that if you don't have any cushion, you're gonna like break your bones, or I don't know, step on glass or something like that. But then like going a step further, and actually like me running on pavement or running on trails barefoot, people will think that's just completely bonkers, but it's not. It's totally healthy. You just build up some callus and then you're fine. It's the same thing with raw dairy or raw meat. Just build up your gut flora, makes you stronger, keeps you defended from getting sick. I haven't been sick, and I think it's almost been 4 years now. The last time I was sick was summer of 2021. Yeah, so it's almost 4 years. And it's just like when you tell people that, it blows their mind, It's just unheard of, because everyone gets sick either twice a year, once a year, or, at least every other year. And it's just like, I never get sick anymore. I never sneeze. I have no allergies. Like I was downstairs this morning and we were like doing some cleaning of the basement, right? And mom's like sneezing away, and I'm just like, no, nothing, no reaction. And so like everyone has this absolute myth of a belief that pollen and dust and dog fur cause allergies, and this is absolutely false. They do not cause allergies. They're completely harmless. Allergies are caused by foods that you're eating that are making your immune system go bonkers and just like overreact to harmless stimuli. But you tell most people this and they think you're crazy. But yeah, that's why I've been tracking so many metrics, sleep and overall score, most importantly, for the past few years, is because like I have evidence now that this diet freaking works. I have evidence in Notion, from tracking the stats, and I also have evidence from just how much I've been writing and creating after decades of not creating on a plant-based, like balanced diet. Which was the worst possible diet for me, other than maybe veganism. Veganism was definitely worse. And, I'm not saying that like I don't like vegan foods, I do, but apparently the plant defense chemicals in them were just too much, and they basically destroyed my body. The other funny thing that's been going on is like YouTube, when I'm now writing in the morning, like when I get up, I spend about 3 to 4 hours writing my 1,000 words in my book, and then I have to go back to YouTubing, and it definitely makes it hard, like trying to find literally just the time, like not even the energy at this point, like the time to film the things that I need to do. So that's what I've been doing, these like small vlogs, but I'm probably gonna do like a super note review next. But anyways, I was just mentioning this because the other funny thing is like how ADHD this channel has become. It is the like quintessential advice for YouTubing is to like niche down and just like only make videos about that thing. And I know that's what's successful. That's what would make me more money. Like if I just stuck to barefoot videos and I didn't post anything about diet or creativity or my life purpose or, whatever, I would do better. I would make more money. I would make more, well, making more honey would be nice too, but making more money. I would have more subscribers. My subscriber rate has definitely gone down since I started posting about raw meat, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm passionate about it. It's working for me. It's had a miraculous effect on my life. I mean, like how long have I been talking without stopping in this video? It's just crazy, right? And honestly, like I don't care, I need enough money to live, obviously, and, to travel, to finish the van, but beyond that, like I don't care about the metrics. I don't care about subscriber rates. And a big part of that, I think, was like starting to write, starting to work on this project that was like deep in my heart that I needed to do, that I was desperately missing, you know, because there were just things that I couldn't get from the real world that I needed to get from writing. And once you do that, it's like you have this core of yourself where everything else just doesn't matter, you know, like nutrition matters, obviously, just like the basics of exercising and, you know, getting sleep, like that stuff will always matter. But anything outside of me is now like just the cherry on top, and I'm not worried about it. It doesn't make stress, you know, go away completely, but there's just this amazing lack of attachment where it's like anything could happen to me other than someone taking away my my raw food, you know, and then I would go back to the old like depressed ADHD Andrew, who was constantly having to whip himself, you know, with chocolate and sugar and stuff to keep going. But anything other than that, you know, like whoever's around me, wherever I am, you know, I don't necessarily like even need the van anymore. I mean, I still want to get the van, I still want to finish it, but I'm just like happy writing every single day and living in this world that I have full control over, where my imagination can just take me wherever I want to go, and I don't need money for that, which is just the best feeling ever, because money is one of the main ways that authority figures and, you know, the system use to control people. But if you don't need money, then you can't be controlled, and that is the ultimate freedom. So anyways, that's my little talk for the day. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll keep you updated on the Super Note review, which I think will be really fun. I have a Barefoot shoe that I'm going to review soon, which is from a company that I like a lot. And it's a trail shoe, their first trail shoe, so that's gonna be really cool. And then yeah, I have some other raw primal stuff with the kefir to share with you guys, for anyone who watches it, the few people who watch my raw primal videos. But I don't know, maybe it'll go viral eventually, we'll see. I'm gonna make a long-term guide probably after 6 months or so, and that'll be a banger, at least in the sense of being really controversial, which is fun to me. I like being controversial, especially when it's healthy. But anyways, thanks again for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.